What's going on, Bourbon family? Hey, real quick, today we're going to dive into Maker's Mark FAE02. But before that, huge shout out to my man Nicholas, my newest patron. Nicholas, I appreciate your support. Thank you for supporting the Bourbon Judge, as well as for all my patrons as well. Thank you for all the support, all the love. Really do appreciate everything you guys and ladies are doing as well. So thank you very much. With that, let's go ahead and kick it off with some Maker's Mark FAE02. Here we go. Ready to have some fun with Maker's Mark FAE02. Now, if you recall, I'll even throw the link up above. I reviewed earlier this year Maker's Mark FAE01, and I will tell you, I was in love with it. I mean, it was great. Again, as I said, I've never been a traditional huge Maker's Mark fan. But after diving into the 46 and then the whole wood finishing series, which is where these come from, I mean, they've honestly been doing a great job. So when you think of Maker's Mark, again, just very high level, Kentucky-based distillery, they're known as a wheated bourbon, right? I mean, that's what they produce, wheated bourbons, and that's it. That's their thing. They stick to it, and I respect that. Again, the whole new series that came out over the last couple of years, they've been rotating different, wood series, if you will. And earlier this year, they created the FAE01, which is the wood series special for this year. They did mention at the time they were coming out with FAE02, which just dropped. So I'm happy to dive into this one. You guys know me, right? The way I always rock and roll. Every time I get a bottle, I always pour out just a little bit, maybe like 2 ounces, maybe sometimes a little bit more, into my infinity bottle. I know people have asked me before, Bourbon Judge, what does your infinity bottle look like? I'm going to do a whole episode, a quick one, on my infinity bottle. What goes in, the exact amounts. I'll just do that as a separate episode, but down the road I will definitely make sure that I get to the whole infinity bottle and explain my process. Maybe it's a fun way for you guys and ladies out there to start your own infinity bottle as well. But anyway, I poured 2 ounces in my infinity bottle just so this bad boy can open up. So when you think about Maker's Mark FAE02, if you will, what else comes to mind? MSRP, $60. Now, I cannot lie. I did not pay $60. I paid, I think it was like $72, $73. So I paid a little bit more. So I was in Kentucky, as you guys recall. I was in Kentucky last week. I saw Maker's FAE02 and I just grabbed it. The first one I found, I grabbed it. I probably should have looked around and went to a few other stores to save some money because I knew the MSRP was $60. But hey, I think I paid like $72 for this. It is what it is. I paid $12 above retail. I wanted to grab it just because I wasn't sure if I was going to find it anywhere else. I was obviously wrong because I think I saw it in every other liquor store in Kentucky. But if you're not living in Kentucky, like many of us do not live there, has it come out? Yes, it just recently came out, hit the stores, even where I live locally. So I've heard about it rather. Friends of mine have gotten it in New Jersey, in Delaware, in Maryland. So it's definitely out on the East Coast. I'm sure it's making its way out even across the rest of the U.S., hopefully maybe internationally as well. So from the availability standpoint, this one just released a few weeks ago, and it is definitely out there. I'm going to go ahead and pour some of this FAE02 real quick. So it's definitely making its way out. So definitely be on the lookout for it. Ugh, there we go. So when you think about just the whole wood finishing series, like what does that even mean? Let me just kind of dive a little bit deeper. So essentially what Maker's is doing, they're taking their standard cast strength Maker's bourbon, or Maker's Mark bourbon. They're taking the cast strength version of it, dumping it into a second barrel, and the second barrel has inside of it, as it says right here, 10 virgin toasted French oak staves. So that's essentially how they're creating, at least for the FAE02 and 1, how they're kind of creating this wood finishing series. So they're taking the cast strength bourbon, dumping it into a second barrel, and that second barrel has the 10 French oak staves. So that's really the whole second, wood finishing part of the series, if you will. I should also call out, so when you think about Makers, FAE01, I loved it. And it says even on the front here that this one was had notes of tobacco and wood, but it was primarily a fruit-forward expression. I will say, when I first sipped this, to me it was a bit more oak forward than it was fruit. However, over a period of time, the fruit did come out. I had the fruit in the nose in the beginning, but I didn't have it in the palate. But I will say, over a period of time, now that I've had this for a few months, the fruit not only came out in the nose, it did transfer to the palate as well. So the label did live up to the hype. I will say that. But I'm wondering, how good is it compared to, how good is FAO2 compared to number 1? We shall see. All right. Look at that color. First and foremost, I love that extremely dark color. Very nice. I love that. I also am a huge fan of non-chill filtration. So essentially what that means is, whenever you see a non-chill filtered bourbon or whiskey, if you will, what that essentially means is that they're not using any type of like chilling agent, if you will, to cool down the bourbon. If a company does that, they're removing all the fatty acids out of the bourbon. So the good news is that makers, along with many other companies, it's a non-chill filtration. So they do not use that method, which is great. So they're leaving all the fatty acids in there. And honestly, all those fatty acids, that's what really gives a lot of the bourbon, a lot of the great notes in the nose as well as the palate. So they're not stripping all that out. So that's a good thing. All right. Nice and dark. I love it. I love it. I like it. Let's see if we're going to like this bad boy a lot more once it goes down the palate. Let's get into the nose. Damn, that is nice. Oh, shit. Goodness gracious. Woo! I went from shit to sugar real quick. Almost said shit, but I just said sugar. That was a quick one. But this is good, man. This is damn good. I can't lie. Oh, my gosh. So the nose, I get like a ton of kind of mixed all in together. The nose screams cinnamon, a nice, almost like a maple syrup, but with like some vanilla kind of like mixed in there as well. So cinnamon, maple syrup, definitely some oak. Oh man, this nose is nice. And I can't lie, this nose has nothing fruit related. This nose, extremely, number 1, very fruit forward in the nose. It wasn't in the palate, like I said originally. But this one here, there's no fruit at all. This is extremely oak forward. Tons of caramel. Oak, caramel, some cinnamon, some vanilla, and some maple syrup. Just kind of stirred up in a nice pot. Oh my gosh, this is nice. Wow. I'm almost lost for words. I mean, this is pretty damn good. This is not bad. All right, before I get into the palate real quick, proof standpoint, we got 109.1 compared to the first FAE01 was 110.6. So, a little bit down, but 109.1, so not bad at all. All right, it's been a long day. Hey, I say this each and every week. You guys know me. I appreciate all the love, all the support from each and every one of you out there. Thank you for all the continued, feedback, insight. I take it all, honestly, and I appreciate that, right? It only makes me better. So thank you for all the love, as well as for all the feedback and insight as well. Let me know what you want to see on an upcoming episode. Let's keep having fun. I want to keep producing great content for everyone out there. And as you say in this courtroom, peace, cheers, salute. I appreciate each and every one of you. Here we go. Wow. Ooh. Woo. Wow. All right. Hold on. Oh, I see those. That's beautiful legs. See, that's all that fatty acids. Oh my gosh, that's so nice. Look at that. Oh, I love those legs on this glass. Oh, gosh. All right. Let's dive into this a little bit more. I want to talk about the nose, the palate. I'll talk about the nose, but the palate, and the final, like the finish. All right. Wow. $60. Everything from the nose transferred to the palate. I mean, this is like literally sipping. Oh man. Some maple syrup, some cinnamon, some caramel, very like oak forward as well. A very robust mouth, and a very long finish. And I mean extremely long. That, gotta use the gavel. It's gavel time, right? verdict is in. This is an absolute buy all day long. All night long. Seriously though, this is a definite buy. This is phenomenal, and I mean phenomenal. I gotta finish it because you guys know me. I never ever leave, well, good whiskey in a glass. Hey, until the next time, peace, cheers, salute. Talk to you guys and gals later. Cheers. Woo! Oh my gosh. That is amazing. Peace out, everybody.